Maybe I won't post this, I don't know. This is different than what I'm normally doing, so every time I cry every time I read this. All right, let me figure out where I'm gonna begin with this. This is a bit different of a video. Usually I'm here sharing educational research videos, one study at a time, so that you can incorporate them into your practice. But today is a little bit different. I was going through my dossier, my teacher portfolio, and I came across a letter that I had written to my students. So I'm going to share that with you today. If you're just interested in the letter, I will put a timestamp here so that you can skip ahead and just hear the letter that I wrote to my students. If you want some background context, I'll provide that to you right now. So, I kind of did things backwards in my career. Before I was an elementary teacher, I taught in a faculty of ed. I taught pre-service teachers, so they were teacher candidates, and I started off teaching psychology and then I moved into sociology, and that was my favorite because we could talk about really important things. And if you have taken any peeks at my personal research, you might have noticed that I haven't studied curriculum as a doctorate. I share curriculum research with you because I think it's very important and I want to learn as I go, but my own research background has nothing to do with reading instruction or math instruction or anything like that. My personal research background has to do with equity, and when I taught sociology, I was able to take what I was learning and share it with my teacher candidate students. So I would get really excited and I would share with them about power and privilege, and I gave them their midterms my first year teaching them, and the responses I got back on some of their written work was sad. And I was really angry at first because I couldn't believe that everything I had taught them, they had just decided that they didn't believe in it, even though I presented research. I was naive and new to this idea that you could just be presented with a bunch of research and say, I don't think that's the way it is. I don't want that. I don't believe that. I'm not doing that. And so my anger turned to deep, deep sadness, and it was almost like if I were to see my child hitting someone or beating somebody up, that pain you would feel. Like, I taught you better than this. You know better than this. How can you do that? Where you're not angry, you don't want them to get in trouble, you're so sad. And so I didn't know how to respond. I didn't want to just go into class and yell at them, but I felt so many things that I needed to get off my chest. And I am quite a wordy person if you've met me. And so I wrote them a letter and I shared the letter with them. And since then I shared it with every other class that I taught. And I'm going to share it with you today. So part of the reason why I'm giving you this lengthy background is so that you can see where my heart is with research and why I feel like it's so important to share research with other people. The other part of the reason why I'm giving you such a lengthy background is because some of the things in this letter are very specific to the students that I was teaching, and so I don't want you to get hung up on the fact that I'm talking about teacher candidates or anything like that. Here we go. This was originally presented February 24th and 26th of 2015. And it's a letter to my students. Dear students, you are heading into a position of greatness. You have chosen to lead generations of children and youth, to inspire their dreams, to give them the skills they need to do wonderful things in this world. With this immense power comes immense responsibility. I know the majority of you, if not all of you, are here in teacher education because you truly care about the students you will lead. I know that you desire to make this world a better place by being an advocate and a role model for students. I know that you are mandated by the government to deliver a curriculum using the best means possible, but that many of you are also here for reasons deeper than academically grooming students. You are here because you care. What I need to be sure of is that you care about all students, every single student. The students that walk into your classroom, the students that you see in the halls, and the students that you never meet. To do this, you need to remember that there are all types of students. There are students from different religious and cultural backgrounds, students who identify themselves differently on a gender spectrum, students who are diversely abled, students who love school and work hard, students that hate school and rarely attend, students of all shapes and sizes, students who have something to say, and students that are never heard. They all count. You are teaching in a system based on reproduction of ideas that were developed by and for an elite, and you are part of this elite. You will deliver the curriculum of the elite to students who are also part of this elite, and to many students who are not part of this elite. Whatever the policies are, whatever the curriculum is, whatever type of school you find yourself in, remember that I need you to care about every single student. To do this, you need to recognize your elite status. You need to recognize the power that exists in this system. I'm not asking you to be cynical or negative or to criticize everything that you come across, but I am asking you to recognize the power imbalances that are inherent in the system that you are devoting your life to. If you refuse to see the power and privilege taking place, you are not fulfilling your role as a caring individual, and you will not be contributing to a caring profession. Regardless of your opinions on how the world is structured, there is research upon research to support the idea that privilege and power play a major role in education and in society. Teachers are often criticized for refusing, ignoring, and denying research in favor of maintaining the status quo. We do not allow dentists or doctors to ignore the latest research in favor of what makes them comfortable. We demand that they update their skills and turn to research to guide their practice on a constant basis. This needs to happen in the profession of teaching as well. If you disregard the research and the knowledge base that has been developed, you will put your students in harm's way. You will put the entire body of students that you come into contact with, directly and indirectly, into harm's way. You will be disrespecting yourself and the very reason that you chose this profession. You have the power to make a difference in this world. Our society is on a tipping point for reform. You may be the first generation of teachers to retire from your job being able to see equity as the norm. You may be the first generation of teachers to make a significant difference in the role that schools play in the lives of children and youth. In order for this to happen, you need to pay attention to the power that exists, to the research that highlights it, to the research that ignores it, and to the needs of every single student, whether you are teaching them or not. If I do my job right, and you take on this responsibility, this course will change from a sociology course to a history course. I have every reason to believe that you can do this. I have seen the glimmers in your eyes when you talk about students. I have seen your faces light up when you think about your future. I know you may face adversity, but I also know that you are the right people to prevail. Go forth and change the world, for indeed it is within your abilities, and indeed all students deserve your care. Remember why you chose to be a teacher. Yours truly, Courtney. Have a great day.